Hello and welcome to today's live coaching call and community conversation. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 key benefits for us as women when we really start embracing an intermittent fasting lifestyle. If you're new here, welcome. I always like to take a second to introduce myself. My name is Diane Parham. I am the creator of the online course and community, the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course, as well as our Midlife Mindset Shift course. Here we talk about all things for us as aging women in today's world. And we really like to use the tool of intermittent fasting to create changes for ourselves so that we can look and feel our best and live our most authentic life. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. A couple of things before we get started. One, again, if you're new, this is how we run these little conversations, whether you're catching this live or on the rebroadcast. The first half, I do a little coaching on the subject that we're talking about today. And then I do open things up for community conversation and questions. So please feel free to use the comment section, whether you're live and you're using it, as part of the continuous conversation we have here, or if you're catching this on the rebroadcast, you can do that in the comment section. I always go back and review the comments there as well. If you are interested in joining one of our courses, the next one will start on July the 1st, 2023. We are just starting our June class, and I have to say I'm so proud of the women inside of the June course already. They're doing some great things, and so welcome to all of you as well. Okay, so 3 key benefits that I really like to focus on with intermittent fasting and for us as women. And I have been saying this, a lot this year specifically, and I'm going to continue to re-emphasize this. And it's going to be part of today's conversation is I don't want to focus on benefits that lead to or allude to weight loss. And I really want to talk about the benefits that we can get for ourselves as women and how it is we show up for ourselves and how we can truly start to live authentically and happily and and live a really healthy lifestyle without the focus always being on that desperate sense of needing to lose weight. And when we really embrace all the benefits that intermittent fasting can do for us as the whole person, right, and the full woman that we are, then we really can reap a lot of these benefits. And ultimately, when we are living a happy the and part is very important, healthy lifestyle, the weight loss always seems to find a way to fall off. So here's the key benefits that I really believe are fundamental to the success that we get with intermittent fasting. The number one benefit of intermittent fasting for us as today's women going through these aging seasons is we remove the excuse, right? And the excuse for so many is always food. I don't know how to get my food right. I don't know how to feed myself. I don't know what my macro should be. I don't know what my calories should be. I heard someone say I can do this. I heard someone say I can do that. I heard someone say I shouldn't do this. And we really do put all of the emphasis on nutrition or how we are making our choices to care for ourselves in someone else's hands. Like we put the responsibility on someone else. And when we are in this intermittent fasting lifestyle and we really lean into and embrace the power of the fast, we get to excuse away the food part, right? Because there's nothing that we do for the 20 hours or however many hours you're going to decide for you that you're going to fast. You just do nothing. Like food is not the excuse. Food is not the reason that you're not being successful. It's always going to be the decisions you're making, the thoughts that you have, and then how you feel emotionally in a situation where there's food that's present. And are you going to make decisions based on how you're feeling? And when you really embrace the clean fast, which is what we always lay the foundation for here in this community, is that experience of a truly clean fast, and we take all those things out of the equation for us, you get to embrace that power, right? Of I'm taking ownership of all these decisions that I'm making for myself, and I know everything is going to be okay for the designated amount of time that I am going to fast today. And this is why those 2 questions we always talk about here are fundamental to the success that we are going to have with this lifestyle. How long am I going to fast today? And are you going to be honest about what you're defining as a fast for you? And how well am I going to feast today so that I can show up looking and feeling my best and have tomorrow be maybe even a better day than today is? And when you can really start to think along those lines, the excuse being removed, meaning you're not sure what to do with food decisions, or you think 15 calories is going to be okay, or you heard Fred say, coffee and creamer isn't the thing that's causing the problems. Like, we just take all that away. And we really get to lean into the comfort of us knowing how to care for ourselves. So the number one benefit that I believe that fasting is doing for so many women in this community, the way we live it here, is the excuse is removed. And that is feeling like, or using the words that we often use of, but I don't know how to feed myself, or I listen to somebody else, or whatever it is that you're using as that excuse. We just take that out of the equation. Number two, you will begin to feel like yourself again. This is the number one benefit. And so if number one thing that, I get the feedback from, this is the number one benefit. This is the number one thing I hear from women. And it's going to come out of you if you're in the June course. So pay attention when this thought starts to develop in your head, what day of this week that happens, because the first 7 days of class is really where a lot of transition takes place. You're going to start to feel like yourself again. You're going to start to feel like yourself again because of what happens here with key benefit number one, right? And that is, you are going to not put yourself in harm's way, and you're going to remove a lot of those intolerances and those hormonal responses and a lot of those chemical reactions that your body is so accustomed to having to manage, that you actually get to feel good again. And who doesn't want to feel good again? And when we feel good, that's when we really start to feel like ourselves, because when we're walking around feeling fatigued, and we're walking around feeling, bloated, and we're walking around with inflammation, and we're walking around with all these reactionary things that are going on with our body because of the food decisions we're making, we don't even know who we are and what skin we're living in. So I want you to be able to experience that sense of you recognizing who you are and feeling like yourself again. And then the third one is, hungry becomes your superpower. And I know for a lot of people, this thought is hard to wrap our head around because we think of hungry as a negative. And here in this community, and how I like to coach women, is that hungry, when done in a very thoughtful way, in a very specific way for a specific outcome, is really where we're finding our superpower. And I want you to just sit on that for just a second. Like, when was the last time that you could just sit in a state of hungry and feel like you had everything handled? And that is the beauty of how it is we teach intermittent fasting here in this community, is we don't fear hunger, we strive for it. We want that hunger feeling. We want that energized sense of calm. We want that internal fire burning inside of us. That's where we find our superpowers. And then when you identify what it takes to make that happen for you, that's where we start the rinse and repeat, right? And we can lean into knowing that if we just fast it out, when in doubt, that power will come, our strength will come, our confidence will come. And when you put these three key benefits on repeat and you live these very honestly, that's when the weight will fall off, and you won't even have to manage it. You won't have to track it. It'll just be a pleasant surprise. One day you'll literally wake up and be like, oh my gosh, what's going on with my body? All the things that I said that I really wanted to have happen are happening, and you won't have to micromanage them because the excuse has been removed. You will begin to feel like yourself again, and you won't want that feeling to go away. And you'll really understand that your superpower comes from a state of hungry. That's where we really can lean into that that healthy and happy. And we got to start living in that and season of our life as well. So if you're struggling with intermittent fasting, it could very well be that you're chasing a weight loss, or you're chasing, something that you think is going to be the quick fix for you. And oftentimes that's just the fallacy that a lot of, things are led up to be, because we want that quick fix. We want that easy way out. And what I really want us to lean into is, why is it that food has become such a problem for us? Why is it that we've struggled so much with weight loss? Why is it that we feel like as grown women, we don't know how to take care of ourselves or feed ourselves? The simple act of feeding ourselves in a healthy way. Why is it that so many of us feel like we can't do that? And I do believe it's because we're putting the power in other people's hands, and we want to make sure that we have our own superpower. So I hope you're finding this message on a day when you need to hear it. I live by this. I love this. Anytime I feel like I'm living in a season of doubt or a season of unrest or a season like I'm feeling like, I'm a little lost in my own body, I always go back to these benefits and I lean into them very confidently, and I lean into them with all of who I am as a woman, because these three things right here never fail me, and they will always yield me the result that I say that I really want. And that's what I want for all of you as well. Okay, so let's get started on the comment section here today. Now's your time to ask a question or leave a comment. We always love to cheer on our community as well. So if you have something that you have found some success with, please share that in the comment section, because we love to acknowledge you for that. And then also, we have had a challenge that we started here in the month of June, where we wanted to pick one thing that we promised ourselves that we would stay committed to no matter what. No exceptions. And so if you are, what is it? It is let me see what the date is. I don't even know what the date is. Today's date is, why is my watch not going? Is today the 5th, 6th? I can't get my watch to go. How many days it's the 5th. Okay, so 5 days into June. How well have you done for the first 5 days of the promise that you've made to yourself? No exceptions, no matter what, you're going to stick to this. How well have you been doing, and what kind of thoughts have come up around that? If you want to share that in the comment section, we'll talk about that as well. Okay, so let's go to the comment section. Holly, good morning, Diane, November 22 grad, going strong and loving this lifestyle. Girlfriend, I am so happy for you. There's nothing better than going strong and loving the lifestyle that you've created for yourself. So girlfriend, you keep rinsing and repeating that for sure. Miss Mellaby, good morning. So glad to catch this live. Miss Mellaby, so glad to have you here with us as well. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We love our growing community here. And thank you for chiming in and being part of our conversation. MT, November 22 grad. Well, MT and Holly, you both are November 22 grads. Thanks for popping in today. Shauna, my girl, how are you? Good morning, October 22 grad here, turning 50 in 2 weeks and looking and feeling my best. Girlfriend, that is a power statement right there. So happy for you. Happy early birthday, not belated birthday. Happy early birthday to you. Your 50s are going to be your best. It's going to be the best decade for you. I'm so proud of the work that you have done for yourself. I have seen your success firsthand, and I'm happy for you. And I do believe your 50s are going to be the best for you. Miss Mellaby, fasting is so powerful. It's amazing what you have to deal with emotionally and mentally when eating those feelings away isn't an option. It ends up driving real multi-dimensional healing. Yes, 100%. You said that beautifully. And I think that's really where our superpower comes in, right? When we have to sit in a state of hungry and just like feel it all out. And when you find power in that, like there's nothing that you can't handle, because you'll be able to lean into that, and you don't have to numb yourself and distract yourself or do any of those things that sometimes we do when emotionally we're not, we don't have the skills to manage things. And so fasting really does give us that skill set of just sitting in things that we have to manage mentally and emotionally. And so thank you for recognizing that. That's my passion and purpose for being here. So I appreciate that. Diana, hello. I fast 24 and my husband doesn't understand how I can't be hungry and says I need to eat. Yeah. Those are those things that we have to just kind of go, okay, thank you for sharing. And you go do your thing. People fast for a lot of different reasons. And if you're finding that fasting is working for you and that 24 is where you're finding your sweet spot, then someone else understanding that isn't the validation that you need. The only validation that you need, Diana, is what your body is telling you, the conversations you have with you and yourself, and then just living your life the way that you feel is most authentic to you. Oftentimes what happens with husbands who don't understand that is they watch you and they see all the success that you're having, and they see how great you're feeling and how you're managing your life, and then they quietly jump on board and start to mimic what you're doing. So just keep showing up, girlfriend. Tina, this is where I am again. 2018 grad. I feel so good. Clean fasting, one of the best things I learned. Right now, it's been 20 hours and I feel great. Yeah, good for you, girlfriend. That is the best, right? And the one thing that I do always love to share, Tina, is every woman is going to figure out her groove, right? And this is what the June students are doing this week. And as graduates, you guys know how magical that first week is just going squeaky clean for that first 20 hours and proving to yourself like you can do the thing and building that foundation and that trust and that confidence and that 20-hour clean fast, so that when or if you decide to like step away, you always have that experience of that 20-hour clean fast inside the course that you can always go back to, and then you can ebb and flow your way through life. And that's one of the beauties of the way we teach fasting here as well, is you don't have to do things regimented, by the book, super strict every single day. You get to decide every day how long you're going to fast and how well you're going to feast, and then you just move about your life. And it sounds like you're doing that beautifully, Tina. So thank you for bringing that up. And yeah, the most authentic you is the best part of all of this. Patty, such an empowering message. Thank you. You're welcome, my friend. Marie, yes. Thanks, Di. I needed to hear this today. Oh, I love it when that happens. Yeah, and I always need to hear these things too, right? Some of the coaching that I do here is always that reinforcement in my own brain and reminding myself like the power I have when I'm really focused on taking care of me first. And that's part of the being selfish first. And me showing up as my best self is really where I think everything else falls into place so beautifully as well. So we want to remember the key benefit, and this is the number one thing: when we remove the excuses, and for a lot of us, it is just food in whatever way you want to make up that excuse for yourself. When we just move that out of the way and then thrive with it, with its absence, that's where we really start to make some moves for ourselves. So I'm glad you guys are all experiencing that. Marie, I forgot to mention March 23 grad. Ooh, new grad. Love it. 5-5 on my June promise. Sometimes I feel panicked or anxious, but learning to navigate and let myself just sit in that feeling and just do nothing. Yes, beautiful. Oftentimes we think that we have to, sidetrack ourselves, I guess is maybe the thing when we're feeling in that like uneasiness or anxiousness. And sometimes just being still, like you say, and just do nothing and let all the feelings kind of go through your body and let all the feelings just evolve is a lot of the times the best way to get through something into the other side of it. So I'm excited for you. 5 for 5. I love it. Patty, September 22 grad, still an empowering message. I am returning to the successful weight and inches and mindset in the month of June since I went away from it all the first 5 months of this year. Thank you. Yeah, welcome back. You're welcome to come back anytime. We always have an opening for anyone who decides to step away and come back. There's never any, thing that we judge here. It's you living your most authentic life. I always say some of those lessons when we step away can be some of the best lessons that we learn. And then knowing that you have this foundation and this lifestyle and this community to come back to, who are going to welcome you with open arms. It's always extended to everyone here. So I'm glad you're back. It's going to be a great month for you. Oftentimes it just takes one quick month to get yourself back on track as well, even if you spent 5 months away. So keep watching all of these changes and these movements moving that are going in the direction you want them to go, and see how quickly that happens for you, Patty, when you've just made the decision to make it happen. It's a beautiful thing to have to witness for yourself. Teresa, I'm doing great with my commitment to not drink Coke Zero this month. I feel great. Since beginning IF in January, I'm down almost 25 pounds. Congratulations, girlfriend. So that's no Coke Zero for the month of June and down 25 pounds. So you're getting the win-win there. So we're 5 days in. So we still got to get through today, right? But you're doing great. And just keep Xing it off that calendar. That exercise of like putting a line through your calendar, don't minimize that. That's a big thing to look forward to every day and accomplish every day. So we'll check back in on Thursday and see how everybody else is doing. But you guys are doing great. And yes to the husband quietly jumping on board. Yes, 100%. Tina, my June promise to myself is 30 days of plant-based eating during my feasting window, no snacking. My 5 days in and feeling fabulous. Also staying faithful to my 20 hours of fasting. Win, win, win. Tina, all kinds of wins for you, my friend. And another, you were the 22 grad from earlier, I think, right? No, 322 November grads. You guys are having like a little class reunion today. I love it. Yeah, super cool. So plant-based eating during your feasting window, no snacking, and then 20 hours of fasting. That you're going to end up the month feeling fantastic, I'm sure. Hello, my friend. Just me, or now August 22 grad, current mindset shift class, day 5 of 30-day commitment. Remembering no exceptions keeps me on track. I'm doing great. Yes, no exceptions is great. So I don't know if I told you guys what my June thing is. I have 2 actually. One is not a drop of alcohol in the month of June. And summertime for us is a big celebratory thing, sitting out on patios and getting together with friends for dinner and all those kind of things. But I just decided no exceptions. And my commitment to me was not a drop. So like, not like, oh, I'll just have a sip of something. No, not a drop of alcohol in the month of June. I've been to girls' night out. We had dinner celebration with friends yesterday. I've done all kinds of things and have been fine. And it's amazing how when you like make that commitment, like for me, it's like not a drop. Super easy. Went to a party yesterday, like I said, brought some Topo Chicos, hung out with my girlfriends. No big deal. Didn't skip a beat. Feels good to make that commitment and actually live it out. No exceptions. So I'm going strong with you guys as well. And the second one is completing reading a book to completion for the month of June. And that used to be a goal I had every year. I'd read 12 books a year, one a month, and I got really lazy with it and kind of would start reading a book and then get halfway through and lose interest and just stop reading. And so one of the things that's keeping me to this commitment is I also love sharing the books that I read. And so I'm not allowing myself to share a book until I've actually completed it. So that puts a lot of pressure on me because when I find a book that I love that I think you guys would actually love as well, I'm super excited to share it with you. And so I'm putting that little boundary on myself to put a little pressure on myself to actually complete the book so that I have the permission to share it with you guys. So I've got 2 going and they've been super fun so far. Liz, hello from Croatia, March 23 grad, fasting going well. More memory making moments that I would like, but doing well. Family has accepted my 24. Okay, you know what we're going to do on Thursday? We're going to talk about what a memory making moment is because this came up inside of our midlife mindset shift course as well. So we're going to talk about memory making moments on Thursday. So if memory making moments are those things that maybe you're feeling like are throwing you off track, make sure you tune in on Thursday because I'm going to give you some tools and tips and tricks so that memory making moments aren't the thing that you feel like is making you step away from what it is you say that you really want. So Liz, make sure you check out Thursday's video. We'll talk about that. Faith, I was on my way to weight loss when I had a family emergency, which made me stop. Now I'm finding it difficult to lose weight. It was so easy for me before the emergency. Okay, so Faith, you have to ask yourself why a family emergency is the thing that's going to put you into decision-making processes that are going to keep you from what you say that you really want. And did the emergency cause you to stress eat? And did the emergency cause you to fall back into old habits? And then that's why like diets and worrying about macros and trying to find the perfect food plan are so disastrous for so many of us, because when things hit the fan, right, or things in life start to become stressful or feel out of control, what we do in those situations, is really what's going to determine, and in your situations you're going through and you're realizing is what we end up with after the emergency. So if the emergency is now over and you're still struggling, what I want you to do is just do some brain dumping, do some journaling about why it is you respond in that way when things feel like they're in crisis mode. And if you can figure all that out, then the next emergency, you'll have a whole new set of tools that you can lean into, and then you won't have 2 issues you have to deal with when something doesn't go as planned. This is a lot of stuff we do in the midlife mindset shift course as well, you guys. Dana, also a November 22 grad here, feeling great. Thank you for being the catalyst for this lifestyle for me. Oh, girlfriend, thank you for trusting me with you. I never take that lightly. And so I appreciate you as well. And I'm glad that you're here to check in with us. You guys are seriously like doing a little November 22 class reunion, and I absolutely love it. Hello, HVC Vision. Faith, no exceptions for the month of June is no alcohol and no soda. There you go, girl. So here's the other thing I want you guys to think about, especially for a lot of us who have picked like something like a no soda, no Diet Coke, no sweets or whatever for the month of June, and that's your promise to yourself. What I don't want you to do is strip yourself of all things. Sometimes putting in something else in the place of that thing is something that can give us a new skill set as well, or a new thing, right? And so for me, like Topo Chico happens to be the thing that I'm really leaning hard on because it feels fancy to me. It's in a nice little bottle. I can buy it at restaurants. I can bring it to parties. It makes me feel like I'm not missing out. And it is the better option from what I'm giving up. And so sometimes that can be something that you can do too, is fill in the gap with something else that's going to be less problematic for you in the long run, is the best way I think to say that. Diana, November 22 grad here. I'm also off the diet. Roller coaster. What a good feeling, along with a wonderful sense of calm. Yes, 100%. Nell, I hope it's my here reading to completion. I hope it's my book you're reading to completion. Oh, I skimmed your book, my friend, but it's on my list to do. I think I'm going to bring your book to Hawaii with me. I read your section of the book, which is the most important part of the book for me. Lynn Wilson, I love this life and have to politely try to tell others I'm fine with fasting, as others say it's not healthy, or I'm doing it too much and it only needs to be done once in a while. Thanks for support. Yeah. Oh, those are those kind of people, depending on what relationship level they are at with you, right? Every relationship kind of has its different level of intimacy. And so if it's casual relationships, I really get to the point with people, I just tell them to mind their own business. The other thing that in those kind of situations, Lynn, and we talk about this a lot here, is pay attention to what those people are talking about and what those people are doing. And, for most of the time, when especially casual relationships, when I see how they're living their life and all the things that they're complaining about, I would not want to be part of that. And so I just quietly have that conversation in my own head as well. Like, I'm doing fine, girlfriend. I'm not complaining about the things that you're complaining about. And so I'm just going to keep doing me the best way I know how to do me. Okay. So like I always do when we are on these lives, I am going to post, because, we do have a lot of new people here in our community. I'm going to post the link to get on our email list for our July 1st intermittent fasting for today's aging woman course. The course is where we really build this foundation. And as you can see, if you're new, we have a lot of graduates who come back and get the reinforcement for this lifestyle and share how it is that they're thriving. So make sure that you are coming back and checking in with us as grads as well. Shauna, let's see what you got to say, my friend. Since starting IF August 22, I've been alcohol and soda free. I used to drink too much Diet Pepsi. I'm happy with my water, coming up on 10 months. Yeah, girlfriend, and you have crushed it. You have made some pretty amazing lifestyle changes that are going to 100% stand the test of time for you. And, it's just those little vices, right, that we have that we haven't been able to admit could be the one thing holding us back. And oftentimes they are. And I always have this struggle in my own life, especially with socializing with alcohol, because I don't have any real negatives to associate with that. And so I always have to ask myself, why am I holding on to this so tight? For me, a lot of it is I just love to socialize. And I love having that little part of my social life. But what I'm really realizing in this month is that I also love just socializing without it as well. And so, Shauna, I'm super happy for you. And it's always that thing, right? Once we let it go and we thrive, we realize, life could be better without it. And so you're doing that beautifully, my friend. Okay. With that being said, I am going to jump out of here today. I feel like words are hard for me today. Hopefully I didn't come across that way. It's just me feeling that way. So I'm going to cut out today and go get myself a little break. I have a coaching call at 1:00 with my midlife mindset shift students. So I'm going to try to get my brain together for that one. Enjoy the process of this promise we're all doing in June. It is such a great learning experience, just like fasting, right? When we have to sit in our own state of presence and not have that little vice with us, or we have to really think about what it is we say we really want, and we make that promise with no exceptions, it's a powerful exercise to go through. You're going to learn so much about yourself. Don't miss the learning about yourself part of this exercise. It's very, very key. And I'll be checking in with you guys on Thursday, which will be like 8 days into the month. And it'll be super fun to share all your wins with that as well. If you need anything from me, you always know I'm available. Please shoot me an email. Send me a direct message. Share with me all the things that you are getting out of this amazing lifestyle that you are living. It always warms my heart to know that you guys are thriving. And I'll see you guys on Thursday.